Imagine a land so cold, so isolated, so hostile, that most humans would die here in days. Now, imagine living there your entire life. Imagine hunting whales with hand-thrown harpoons, drinking reindeer blood to survive, navigating a world where GPS doesn't work, where the sun disappears for weeks, and where spirits are believed to roam in the snowstorms. This is not science fiction. This is the life of the Chukchi, an Arctic tribe on the brink of extinction. And their story is one of resilience, tragedy, and silence. A story the world forgot. But now it's time to remember. The Chukchi people live in Chukotka, the northeastern tip of Russia, just across the Bering Strait from Alaska. It's one of the most remote places on Earth. There are no highways, no train tracks, no forests, just frozen tundra, jagged cliffs, and oceans sealed by ice. For over 2,000 years, the Chukchi survived here, not by bending nature, but by respecting it. They knew the winds, the ice cracks, the reindeer trails. They could smell a storm before it came. They didn't just survive, they mastered the Arctic. But today, everything they knew is vanishing. Chukchi life revolved around two worlds, the land and the sea. Some were reindeer herders, others were marine hunters. The reindeer herders moved in nomadic cycles across hundreds of miles of tundra, living in cone-shaped tents called yarangas. They used sleds pulled by dogs or reindeer, sleeping in temperatures that would kill most people. The marine hunters took skin-covered boats into icy waters to hunt walruses, seals, and even whales, using nothing but harpoons and courage. They ate meat raw, they drank blood for nutrients, they burned whale fat for heat. They believed that every animal had a soul, and killing it required ritual, apology, and respect. It was survival in its purest form, raw, dangerous, and sacred. But the Chukchi didn't just live in the physical world. They believed in spirits, powerful, unpredictable, and ever-present. The blizzard wasn't just weather, it was a force. The whale wasn't just food, it was a god. Every illness, every hunt, every journey was watched by spirits of ancestors, animals, and nature. Shamans played a crucial role. They could speak to the wind, heal the sick, see the future. Through trance, song, and drum, they crossed into invisible realms. To the Chukchi, life and death weren't opposites. They were neighbors. But in the modern world, those shamans are nearly gone. In the 1600s, Russian explorers arrived, thinking they could easily conquer Chukotka. They were wrong. The Chukchi fought fiercely. For 150 years, they resisted Russian rule, refusing to pay tribute, attacking forts, killing Cossacks. Eventually, the Russians signed a peace treaty. The Chukchi became one of the few indigenous groups in Siberia to negotiate with an empire, not surrender. But their victory didn't last. By the 20th century, the Soviet Union had other plans. They outlawed shamans, forced children into Russian-language boarding schools, labeled Chukchi life as primitive. Nomads were relocated into fixed settlements. Reindeer herds were taken by the state, and with them, their freedom. In Soviet popular culture, Chukchi weren't seen as brave survivors. They were turned into jokes, literally. Chukchi joke became a genre of humor. Always the same theme: the Chukchi is stupid, backward, clueless. An entire people reduced to a punchline. This wasn't harmless fun. It created a generation of Chukchi children who grew up ashamed of who they were, afraid to speak their language, afraid to admit their heritage. The damage ran deep, deeper than most outsiders realize. Today, fewer than 5,000 people speak the Chukchi language. Most Chukchi under 30 can't even hold a conversation in it. Entire villages have just 1 or 2 fluent speakers left. Elders die, and with them, stories vanish. Songs that were never written down, words that don't exist in any other language. A worldview that can't be translated. When a language dies, it takes a piece of human understanding with it. And for the Chukchi, time is running out. As if colonization and erasure weren't enough, now climate change threatens their very survival. The permafrost is melting. Reindeer migration routes are shifting. Walruses are disappearing. Hunting becomes unpredictable and sometimes impossible. Entire villages are sliding into the sea as coastal erosion accelerates. What once was eternal is now collapsing. The land that shaped the Chukchi is breaking apart beneath their feet. But not all is lost. In some villages, elders are teaching children their language, word by word. Young Chukchi are creating art, music, and films about their culture. Some schools now include Chukchi classes. There are new efforts to record and preserve the oral histories before they're gone forever. A few families have even returned to the tundra to revive traditional reindeer herding. It's a fragile hope, but it's real, and it needs the world's attention. You may have never heard of the Chukchi before today, but they are one of the most resilient peoples on Earth. They've survived ice, empire, mockery, and time. But no culture survives alone. We can't bring back the past, but we can amplify their present and help them have a future. Because when the last Chukchi voice goes silent, we don't just lose a tribe, we lose a piece of what it means to be human.